Most men think they know why women choose to be intimate with certain men and not others. They think it's about status, money, or physical appeal. And while those things may open a few doors, they don't hold the key. The truth? Women are moved by a different code, a set of emotional, psychological, and primal laws that most men are never taught to read, let alone master. If you don't understand these hidden drivers, you'll keep watching women you want walk away with men who seem to offer less on paper but more in presence. This isn't guesswork. This is strategy, and it begins with the first principle. 1. Emotional safety is the gateway. A woman's body responds to one thing above all else: emotional security. Not comfort, not kindness, not validation, security. This is why she can be drawn to a man who doesn't compliment her every second, but maintains his internal frame. A woman does not give herself fully until she feels she can unfold without being judged, manipulated, or misunderstood. Her body doesn't respond to a man because he's polite. It responds because he is unshakable. Let's define what emotional safety really means. He doesn't overreact. He doesn't apologize for who he is. He doesn't betray himself just to gain favor. He doesn't fold under pressure. It's the man who can hold space for her emotion without losing his center that earns her deepest surrender. Emotional safety isn't about comfort zones. It's about knowing she can express her most raw, unfiltered self and be met with calm, not chaos. Every time you pass a test with composure, she feels more secure. Every time you hold your edge instead of begging for validation, her subconscious registers, "This man can hold me." 2. Emotional intensity creates craving. Nice guys finish last, not because kindness is weak, but because kindness without polarity becomes invisible. Craving is built on contrast, on unpredictability, mystery, and emotional movement. When she doesn't know what you'll do next, when she can't quite read you, her emotional system gets activated. When she gets a message from a man who radiates certainty and intention, yet maintains enough distance to keep her uncertain, her mind begins to spiral, not in panic, but in pursuit. Women chase the feeling of being stirred emotionally. Why do you think she stays up late texting the man who teases her, challenges her, but never fully leans in? Because he's created a rhythm she can't predict. He's built an emotional world she can't control. And that's what she craves. Remember, a woman will never crave a man she can predict. She will respect him, maybe even love him, but she will not crave him. 3. Adaptability over time. Her needs change with time. At 20, she may choose chaos. At 30, she may crave stability. At 40, she wants depth. And yet most men approach all women with the same blueprint. Understand this. Women make survival-based choices about who to trust with their future. In her early years, she may lean into thrill, even danger. But once reality sets in, career, family, time pressure, her filters change. So if you're still playing the game you saw in your college days, you're already behind. Machiavelli said, "A prince must read the terrain before entering battle." The man who adjusts his energy, approach, and presence based on where a woman is in her journey becomes rare, and rare equals power. 4. The man she can't escape. Every woman has met a man she couldn't quite shake. Not because he begged, not because he forced anything, but because his presence lingered. His silence spoke louder than her emotions. His withdrawal felt heavier than another man's obsession. That man became unavoidable, not because he demanded attention, but because he created a gravitational pull. His certainty, his energy, his detachment from outcome made him magnetic. This is not about playing hard to get. This is about becoming a man whose presence forces her to rise, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. That kind of man is not a choice. He's a moment of transformation in her life. The man who feels inevitable is the one she chooses when she's ready to choose herself. He reflects the part of her she wants to become. That's what makes him unforgettable. So how do you become him? You stop reacting. You stop explaining. You stop proving. You start building. You start holding. You start becoming. You create emotional safety not through words, but through consistency. You create intensity not through control, but through calibrated mystery. You read the woman in front of you and mirror the part of her no one else sees. And then you let her choose. Not because you're waiting, but because you're too grounded to chase. The new law of power in relationships. Women don't want to lead emotionally. They want to feel held by a man who can guide them through their own chaos. But you can't guide anyone if you can't guide yourself. So this journey begins and ends with you. Refine your mission. Build your edge. Cultivate depth. Master stillness. Because women don't choose the loudest man. They choose the man whose silence makes them feel most alive. If this message shifts something in you, don't just let it fade. Return to it, live it, embody it. Because becoming that kind of man isn't an event, it's a discipline. And when you master it, you won't need to ask for intimacy. She will offer it. Not out of pressure, not out of reward, but because something in her will say, this man is home.